Hi everyone, welcome to another Freehand Friday. It's me, Bev from Be Crafty. Thank you so much for joining me. So if you haven't joined us before, Freehand Friday isn't about finishing a project necessarily. It isn't about, stamping in templates. It's about using some things that you have to maybe get a bit crafty with. So the theme of today's Freehand Friday is I want you to grab a medium you've abandoned, okay? Because I know that you, like me, love it when a new medium comes out. So, I love Dylusions ink sprays, I love Distress inks, I love Dylusions paint, anything like that. But I'll tell you something else I absolutely love, and this is my Dina Wakley Media Gloss Spray. But I'm just going to start shaking these. I did give them a good shake before, but I'm going to do it again. But I have a tendency to, I can't lie, forget about them. I'm not very good at keeping the nozzles clean, which is an essential with your Dina Wakley gloss sprays. But what I do forget is how much I do love to use them freehand. So what we're going to do is in our Dina Wakley white media journal, we're going to create a background freehand, okay, using basically the acrylic from these, but we're not going to use the sprayers primarily because I don't know if they work that well because, like I said, I'm rubbish at keeping them clean. Okay, so what we're going to do is I've got a little 6x2 palette here that's from some sort of discount shop, I imagine. Okay, and then what we're going to do is we're going to pour just a little bit, it doesn't have to be a lot of, and as you can see, this is something I do a lot as well, because look at all that around the edge of there, of these. Now what I did was I just grabbed 3 colours that were sat together on my shelf. Okay, I didn't select them, I just basically stuck my hand out and grabbed them. Okay, so I want you to do the same. Just go to a medium that you've sort of forgot about because you've been caught up with new things, because we all do. Okay, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to put some water on here. Because the thing with your Dylusions acrylic sprays, okay, is they're actually really movable with water. They're not an ink, they're an acrylic. But they're really movable with water. But only while they're wet. Once they're dry, they are fixed. Okay, so these are gloss. So you do sort of have a gloss effect when they dry, but not if you use them like this, okay? If you mix them with water and we're going on quite an absorbent surface here, they are not going to be glossy. They're going to have a lovely matte finish, okay? So I'm just going to go in. I am going to wash that tangerine out while I go back for the lemon in here. Okay, and basically we're just going to use this to cover a background, because the problem is with so many sprays and mediums out there as well, I think sometimes it can be a bit, well, which one do I buy? Because, it's your Dylusion sprays and things like that, for a fact that you can use them and blend them and they're water reactive and all this sort of thing. But I think one of the advantages with the gloss sprays, okay, so I'm using my heat tool just to push that tangerine up into these. And these do actually force each other back. Now, as acrylics, obviously you need to be careful, you should be careful when you're heating them. Okay, but I'm just giving them a little waft, and there's a lot of water mixed in with there. And in all honesty, if you're in a relatively well ventilated space, you're okay. Okay, but I will say if you're using them in pure spray form, don't do that. Okay, that's that first layer dry. So now what I'm going to do, I'm going to go back in, I'm going to add in some of these. So I've added quite a bit of water to these now. So what I'm actually going to do, I'm going to rotate my book, because I seem to have done the colours in the same order. We're just going to tip these onto here. And we're just going to turn and rotate our book. Now, yeah, so what I was going to say, was the thing with these is, like I said, once they're dry, they are fixed, okay? If you're using distress sprays, distress oxide sprays, Dylusions ink sprays, Dylusion shimmer sprays, they will move again if you get them wet again. Whereas your gloss, your acrylic gloss sprays from Dina Wakley, once they're dry, that is it. They're not moving. Okay. So we're just going to heat set all of that. And this is also loads of fun if you're worried you're not very good at blending. You know, you're not very good at getting that blended bit between colours. Because, you know, it does all the hard work for you. Now you'll see, if I just lift this up, where that bit of gloss spray is coming thicker, it is quite glossy, look. This isn't dry yet, that's why that's glossy. But the rest of it is quite matte. Okay. Now, what we can do from here is we're going to go, I'm just going to give them another shake. When you are using gloss sprays, regardless of what you're doing with them, okay, every time you use them, you're going to shake them. Okay. So I'm going to take my lime here and we're going to tap that. You know, we're going to use the straw. We're going to draw. Draw with the straw. Get a feeling this could have even done with some more shaking. That's all right. So again, this is all stuff you can do freehand. You know, this is just building a background, so we don't need to worry if the circles we're drawing are perfect or, you know, perfectly balanced. We're not worried about that. Again, we're now using the pure gloss spray with the acrylic, so I don't want to heat it too much. It's just enough to almost set it so I don't rub my hand through it too many times. Okay, then I'm going to get my tangerine. Okay, so we're going to give that a shake. And then create some drops with that too. And again, we're going to do some drawing. Just creating that background. And then when this background's done, you can use it for anything. You can use it for art journaling. You know, if you're just doing it on plain cardstock that you've got, brilliant for your cards too. Chop it up, turn it into ATCs. Absolutely magnificent. Okay, so you're going to have a go with a medium you forgot. Now, if a medium you forgot is a paint or something like that, and you haven't got, obviously I'm using the straws from my sprayer, use the edge of a brush, use a straw, do you know what I mean? Use the side of your acrylic block, use the edge of a palette knife. Just something else to create those marks using a medium that you've abandoned recently. That's what we're after. Because the whole thing of the Freehand Fridays is to use the things you have, okay? So what we want to do is make sure we're getting use out of all of our well-purchased Crafty products. Because let's face it, even if you've forgotten about them, fallen out of love with them or something like that, you loved them enough to buy them. So make sure that you get back into using them. Okay, and then we're just going to use that straw to create these marks across our background. And then it is ready for you to either, if you've got nice handwriting, which we all know I don't by now, you could always put some lovely handwritten words on there. Or if you have got some stamps or stencils, you can always go over the top. But what I'm saying is freehand. You can create yourself an absolutely stunning background with a medium that you may have abandoned, forgotten about, found on a recent craft room tidy up. Now there's a concept I don't really understand, but here we go. So again, I'm just going to give that a little heat set. And you'll see, as we're layering up now, these gloss sprays, because they're going on top of gloss spray, on top of gloss spray. Okay, you see nothing underneath moves. Okay, but as they're layering up, I think the orange is probably the best to show you down here. It is still, it's keeping its gloss. Okay, so I'm going to leave that to dry the rest of the time, as you definitely should with your gloss sprays. Go and find a medium you've abandoned and have a go at background. Bye bye.